This is Manchester Airport. Let me get that out of the way. There we go. Howdy, Cindy. Hop in, Sin. Welcome, love, always. Yeah, this is Manchester by the airport. Now, didn't we report on something at Manchester Airport not too long ago? Howdy, folks. Welcome back. Let's get this show on the road. I told you I would be back. So let's get this started here. All right. So here we are, January 1st, 2025. Kind of weird saying that date. I didn't think we'd make it this far, to tell you the truth. Meanwhile, you can see our area with a bunch of spires over on this region still all spread out. There's something going on over here. And you can see spits and sputters coming out of that region, but something else still hiding back in there. Meanwhile, you see little moons, little satellites like that flying around. Not much to really go through, but what I want to do, we will go through frame by frame. But note how this black spire region still kind of just stays right there. Something going on right there. Something approaching the sun right there. All right, so let's capture our first frame, opening frame, and just go through this really quickly and move forward. Because that's the only way you can go. All right, so we can't go backward in frames, though. All right, so here we are. You see this black little cutoff right here and light bending and streaking out this way. You can see this little angle coming out here. So something back there is still drawing this spire region right there. Meanwhile, you can see the very end of a teardrop shape formation right there, moving out of frame as we capture our opening frame, this event moving out of frame. Okay, we just start marching along here. Boom, there's this. Now note how that little shaft of light bent when we came into this. See how that streak reaches out? Okay, then we get to see even more secondary, third events coming out of there. This little object coming out of there with plasma out in front of it. There you can see it pretty good right there. I don't even need to zoom in on that. That's the ghost image. Your actual image is out here, I think. Okay, so that's kind of the ghost image, like a frame behind or two, but it really gives it definition. and then another blast out of that same region over here. And then something coming out nice and slow right there. You see this change in direction of the plasma. It came out at an angle, turned, and now it's going this way. So something right here is disturbing this flow. Whatever it is slow moving. Ooh, can almost see it there. But the flow gives it away. I'm not even so much looking for the object anymore. It's just the flow going around it. So it's right in there. I think we saw it right. Whoops. Yeah, right about there. You can make it out. All right, let's go ahead and put this back into motion. And you can see stuff moving kind of inwards. I believe that stuff approaching from the backside, about to hit the magnetic field and bounce off and create a, well, they ricochet off at different angles and stuff. So that appears to be like these inward flow type device, but this activity right here, I think, is some of these moons approaching from the backside or from an angle or whatever. Just from our perspective, they seem to be going towards it instead of away from the, or towards the sun. Oh boy, forgive me here. I'm tired. All right, let's keep going here. Let me pause it right there. That's good enough. Let's move on over here to our solar ham. Okay, our big event of the day is our G4 storm. It was a little higher than expected, but first off, let's come up here really quick. Our solar flux indices at 219. We're up 1 point. It's not a lot. So we're hovering around this 218, 219 mark. Sunspot number count down 13. Probably because of all that activity we just saw, all those little satellites and stuff. But I bet we're going to see this uptick here as something else approaches with its moons and stuff. Meanwhile, Aries in the green. Let's zoom in and see how fluxed we are. Goes X-ray flux, that is. Swimming pools and movie stars, because I'm just a hillbilly. All right. Left off at that little event last night. You could see we had kind of a little bumpy ride today. All our little moons, satellites, whatever, are accompanying the bigger objects. Marcia, there you are. Hello, sweetie. And then we got our activity going here. I know you guys hate to see that stuff, so we're just going to do it anyway. You guys don't want to see that? No way. Just my little gimmick. I know you guys want to see it. So let's just take a peek really quick. Okay, still activity flaring up in this region right here where our spire is. Okay, so we still got a region that could fire off something. And then we got little spires over here too, reaching out. But this is the main event really here. Something going on over on this side here pretty soon. All right, so there's a peek at the future. Not much to see tonight, thankfully. Let's zoom on back and talk about our geomagnetic forecast. All right, so we had a G4 today. It's actually higher than was predicted, and that doesn't surprise here at this, shouldn't surprise here in this family, because we've talked about the accompanying objects bringing, extra, well, electromagnetic energy with them. Okay, causing storms. Also depends on how strong our field is at the time. Okay, so our M flares 2.9, 2.7, and 2.0. Let's get into it, shall we? These aren't our current conditions right now because our auroras should be over here. So this is delayed a little bit. I think they just kind of wanted to capture this spot where it's got the orange in it right there. Okay, hopefully that's not blinding the camera anymore. All right, so I think they just kind of wanted to capture that frame right there when it was at its most intense here, where we had G4. Okay, we reached a KP of 8. All right, now everything that starts here from about 4, all this yellow, all the orange and the red coming back down here, all that gets absorbed down to the core. All right, and when we had a weak field in the first place, remember we were reading about our negative BZ component, and it was more than -6, it was -17. So we probably absorbed quite a bit of this. Not good for our planet, especially at the condition it's at right now. So we'll probably see some geomagnetic effects, well, some geo effects from this, okay? It's going to cause the core and the shell to grind. It's going to cause that to swell and heat, and the magma to heat up and swell, push on the underside of the crust. We're going to have earthquake and volcano activity because of this, as a result of this. Meanwhile, all of our sunspots, beta gammas, okay, we still have 3936 that has the beta delta configuration, all right, but it's declining. The rest are stable. The only thing that's growing is this one. So kind of good news that these are kind of done and they're declining or either stable. So that's good. Real quick, the strong G3 to severe G4 geomagnetic storm has subsided as the BZ IMF component has settled into a north pointing position. Whew. A strong storm watch remains in effect until 6 UTC should the BZ begin to point south again. Otherwise, a return to somewhat quieter conditions is expected 12 to 24 hours. Okay, good. So our BZ did kind of bounce back there and was pointed north. So thankfully we didn't take on too much. Even though we're lacking some tracking, let's do some track-a-lacking, because there we go. It says there's no event, yet there is one. All right, now note the direction it's going. It's heading out that way. This is that spire region that we were looking at. Now, what I'm talking about is some of these objects that are approaching. As they approach, they might hit. Say this little black circle is a magnetic field as a representation. It's not really, but we're using it as a representation. Said object comes around and bumps this, it causes the spark to jump across this way. We're connecting a circuit here, okay? It's electric as well. Remember that. So when, say an object, let's use this bigger circle, for instance. A bigger object passing by here bumps this circle, bing, sparks a CME that goes this direction, but said object can still be going this direction. And even though the CME doesn't head towards us, the object itself still retains radiation and passes by us. Depending on how close it gets to Earth, it can interface with our magnetic field and cause disruptions and well, unexpected geomagnetic storms out of nowhere, because they're looking at the CME going this way, but they don't know about the object that induced it that could still be traveling on a trajectory like that. Hard, super hard to map these trajectories, because you only get a brief moment to see where it is right next to the sun. We used to have stereo A at a really sharp angle, and I could just take a protractor and measure this angle right here and get you a halfway good idea of what angle it was coming at. Now it's so close to the satellite, it's getting there. It's starting to get further away. If I could get a good angle right there, I could throw that in a formula, hopefully, and tell you what direction these things are going again. But for the meantime, that's the case. Sometimes they travel this direction and they bump up against an outer band or some, magnetic field around the sun, whatever distance out it is, bink, it causes the CME to spark in that direction when it was right here. Now it keeps going this way, and it's not going that way with the CME every time. So there's your tracker. Thankfully, the CME heading away. Over here, they're showing no real impact. This is at stereo A, impact at stereo A there. So there's Jeremy and Eric and Tina. All right, you guys. Everybody curled up around the fire with the family here. Pretty cool image. Almost looks like there's a head right there with the arms stretched out and dress coming down. It's a lady in a pink dress. She's ready to go dancing. All right. Really quick here. Happy New Year. Geomagnetic storming continues on Wednesday morning, and the moderate G2 storm threshold was reached. The BZ component of the interplanetary magnetic field is currently tipped sharply south. Okay, that was yesterday. Oh, it's still kind of today. and the solar wind speeds moved past Earth above 500. Visible auroras appeared across northern locations to higher latitudes. The BZ component of the interplanetary magnetic field, the IMF, is now tilted -20 to the south. This is allowing energy from the solar wind to more freely interact with the Earth's upper atmosphere. A strong G3 geomagnetic storm is currently in progress. Viewers at middle latitudes and high latitudes should be alert for visible auroras. Update number 2, the ongoing storm has intensified. The severe G4 geomagnetic storm threshold was reached at 1741. Visible aurora is likely happening now, and at middle latitudes where it's dark outside, it should be noticed about that 6 meters or 50 megahertz radio station band is also now open for stations. Okay, blah, blah, blah. The amazing aurora photo. Okay. So you might be seeing some auroras depending on where you're located. I haven't been outside. We got clouds, so I don't think we're going to see much here. But we did get struck. And this is what kind of threw me here. This first part of the article up here, whoops, going into here where it says the BZ began to point south again. Oh, it says it was pointing north. It is now, I guess, but earlier today it was as far as -20 to the south. Wow. All right, so if that's the case, we absorbed quite a bit of this. All right. We do have magnetic field. It does protect us from some of it, but it does direct it to the poles. The poles direct it to the core. The core absorbs it, and then it's on. Okay, the storm is over. 2025 is off to a good start, but for more than 9 hours on January 1st, Earth's magnetic field was rattled by a strong to severe G3 to G4 geomagnetic storm. During the event, northern lights descended as far south as Mexico, Colorado, and Arizona, again with these low-latitude auroras from not a super strong event, KP8, but, way down that far south, with eye-popping explosions of color over Alaska, Scandinavia, New Zealand, all this caused by the CME impact on December 31st. Did you sleep through the show? Well, maybe, but a lot of people aren't sleeping too well these days either. So, not all those auroras were auroras. The real-time aurora gallery is full of photos from last night's geomagnetic storm. Take a closer look. Not all the auroras are actually auroras. Here's an example from Northern Ireland. Got the little pink streak in there, the SAR arc. All right. Paul Martin stretched across the sky, main aurora show earlier this evening. What a way to kick off 2025, huh? Not only do we have our incident going on down in New Orleans there, but we also had lightning strike the Capitol, strike the Washington Monument, and struck the Empire State Building, all on the 1st. I've been looking into it, and I believe it also struck #1 World Trade Center also. So I believe lightning struck all 4 of those buildings on New Year's Eve. I know for sure the first 3. I'm pretty sure the 4th one, World Trade one, got struck too. Okay, so all kinds of wonderful stuff happening on the 1st of the 2025, huh? What a first. Auroras, all this activity, G4 storm, auroras. Yeah, a little stronger than expected storm there. So, yeah, that has to be an omen. You understand how that works, Jimmy. Very good. Yeah, I was kind of hoping we'd have a nice quiet first, but lightning striking buildings. Yeah, that's probably something we'll be seeing a lot more of this year. G4 storming, these impacts affecting the auroras and getting absorbed. We'll probably see more of that this year. Okay. So yeah, these are all kind of indicators of what we're going to see this year. And then your G3 or your 3-day geomagnetic forecast has got a G2 called still for the remaining part of the second here. It looks like it's kind of over, but if there's a second impact, remember we saw the second, like a double impact last night. There could possibly, but it looks like it's over for now. Now, let's get into the Schumann where we start to see results from this. Okay, please, Mr. Schumann. All right. As you can see, we had a bumpy day yesterday. We came out of it. We started to have some good continuity, little weakness right through that stripe right there. Coming back, little grinding, continuity, and then pressure builds up again, and we start grinding away. We had some good pressure going right there, grinding pretty good, and then a pretty good release, either volcanic or earthquake. Something drastically changed the pressure, and it stopped grinding, and it's tapering off and kind of trying to go back to regular behavior. Okay. Just kind of shift that around so you can see it a little bit. All right, and there's your current readings kind of coming out of this event not too long ago. All right. I love that you're here, bud. So thankful that you came here. All right, now let's give this to the null school, to the school of the null. Oh, let's start really quick here. Intertropical convergence zone, really quick, while we're at this altitude, this level. This blue band right here is where your northern air from the northern hemisphere is colliding with air from the southern hemisphere. This band should be shifted more south here at the equator. It's been shunted north, and it's not because the planet has shifted like this. It's because we have thermal vents that are opening up on the ocean floor here, drawing the wind patterns up above the equator there. Okay, let's go up in elevation really quick. Check out some of our storms. Look at this big old gnarly monster right there rotating. We got hot and cold water formations that are causing vortex activity on the ocean, well, in the air currents over these parts. Okay. So there's a couple going off right there. Let's just look around. One there, another one there. Right there, up here, look at this thing still, this huge thing going on, still drawing. See this inflow right here? This band is really intense winds and stuff that are racing through here to get caught up in that oscillation, well, not oscillation, but that rotation there. Okay, and just looking around, I don't see any like cyclones or any other. That's our main one right there. All right, now what I want to do really quick is take a peek up at our polar vortex here. Uh-oh. Now it's getting pulled apart, kind of drawn this way. You see a sub-vortex rotating on this side, a smaller vortex. There's another one right here. So we have a three-way rotation. The main vortex is getting pinched by these two other ones here, giving it that odd shape. It should be centrally located. It's off to one side and then really broad on this side. So now what I'm going to do is flip this around, and you can see the direction. It's coming out, going right into the middle of the United States. A lot of it's peeling away and going back out into the Pacific. All right, so it comes right down through the middle of the U.S., right down that little line. Remember I was saying that got a country divided? Well, we do, because jet stream, not jet stream, your upper polar vortex driving cold air down into this region. It's going to be cold for a while. We're going to go to the upper jet stream. Now you see how wonky this has been lately. Okay, we're kind of done with transition season. We're in winter. This should be a little bit more zonal flow, not so dips and valleys and peaks and stuff like that. So very wonky upper jet. Here's your lower jet. Okay, this is what the storms usually ride on, is the lower jet stream. But now we have this different pattern where the lower wind patterns are controlling the storms more so than your lower jet stream, because look at this wind flow. And then I'm going to put it at 850. That's where our regular wind is, where our storms are. Watch it change. See, it's not going across the country so intensely. It's all rotating around this. we still have this splitting effect where part of it getting pulled down, the other up there. But that effect is affecting our weather more so than the lower jet. And this is the same pattern that we see on the winds on our thermals. Okay, so got all that covered. Whoa. Too much acid in the punch. We want to get the particles, the dust and aerosol. Whoops, take the wind off. Okay, sandstorm report. Ongoing sandstorm since November of last year, so it's been well over a year, and very intense plume right here, most of it blowing out into the Atlantic, going up, getting caught up in storms, pulled up north. Okay, we had some activity that had been pulled up north from Russia in this region, made it all the way up to the top of the planet up there. Meanwhile, you saw that plume that was approaching Yemen and Oman? Well, now they're getting their sand handed to them. Okay, very intense plume moving right through that region right now. Meanwhile, you can see over here, still kind of spread out. We know what to look for, still there. Always be there now, I guess. All right. Sand going all the way around the world, coming up through here, going up into the United States. These are particulates, okay? You got to remember this is particulates, sand, dust, particles and stuff. And we also have very high concentrations of volcanic ash in our air. So a lot of these people, when they're taking the video of the fog that isn't fog, they're actually capturing the particulates at nighttime with the bright spotlight. Okay, it's just the density, the particulate count has gotten higher. And when you take a spotlight at night, it makes it look like it's snowing. Now, we don't have very intense plumes like over here, but we do have a lot of ash circulating around the planet. We also have fog, too, in the wintertime. Everybody must learn weather. Before you all start flipping out, cold air in the wintertime goes over warm, moist land and evaporates or combines with that to make fog. You get fog in the wintertime because it's moist. It gets absorbed into the ground, and then cold air goes over the ground that's warmer than the air. Fog. It's usually a side effect of wintertime and moist water and moist ground. Okay, and we are seeing some different types of fog, and that's because of our particulate count and our humidity count is higher too. So it's so high now that you don't even need cold air. You can have fog because the dew points and the humidity is so high. That as well. Okay, and add all your particulates. Of course, it's going to look like it's snowing. It's funny that people are just finally noticing it. That's what's funny. It's like, go out at night and drive around. You'll see your headlight beams projecting out in front of you. That's all the particulates that are in the air. Also casting shadows like airplanes, their contrails. The sun hits that contrail up in the air and casts a shadow on the particulates down below, making a black stripe across the sky that looks like a leading up to the jet, and then you see the contrail going away from the black shadow. It's all because of the particulates in the air. Okay, sticking to the windshield. You got all kinds of stuff. It's not just ash that's coming out of the ground. We got other SO2, all these other chemicals coming out, methane, all the byproducts of it burning off and stuff. Yeah, you got all kinds of stuff floating around in your air. I want to take you through our particulates really quick. So this is the dust aerosol. Let's go into 1 micron here. Okay, and look over here. Remember I was telling you how this stuff circulates around and blows up against the Himalayas? You see the concentrations right there along the foothills of the Himalayas right here? Yes, heavy metals. And radiation. You know, some of your drones that are looking for radiation, thinking it's a bomb, maybe it's their looking for radiation coming out of the ground. All right, there's microns, okay, particulates. Look at these regions that had all the little the clouds and all your fog. Look at the particulate count in the area. Oh, Amy, I'm so happy for you. So there's your particulates. That's at 1 micron there. Let me go ahead and put it back here. Let's go 2.5. Uh-oh. Now look at all this. See, it shows up better in red, but there's a lot of particulates, different sizes, different shapes, different chemicals. Okay, we're still in particulates. Go 10 micron. Oh, dear God, look at this. Okay, and this stuff gets in the air. You breathe it, you get congested. Everybody's feeling congested. Well, you're breathing this soup. Look how dense it is over here in Oman and Yemen. It's gonna be hard to breathe over there. We also have organic matter floating around in the air as well. Okay. Here again, you can see it building up on the backside of the Himalayas. Okay. I'm just kind of going through these different little things real quick so you understand why you're having more fog. It's winter time. We have more moisture. We have more particulates. This nasty particulate, SO4, is sulfur quad oxide all over the place. Okay, now this wonderful particulate, instead of water adhering to it and making a raindrop, it actually makes a chemical bond. So we have SO4 bonding with H2O to make a new chemical compound called H2SO4, which is known as sulfuric acid. You are looking at your sulfuric acid. A lot of your particulates are SO4 latching onto water, creating acid rain. Okay, so these are all the particulates that are in your air that water adheres to. And then when you get cold weather, well, might as well just see some fog. That's what happens. Okay, we want to get to another sulfur compound, sulfur dioxide, not carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide. This is basically the vaporized magma pushing up through the perforations in the crust. We have very spongy crust to the right. Got this country divided, one side here bleeding out, very soft, spongy, porous crust with all kinds of little tiny pathways. It doesn't necessarily have to be a volcanic opening. It's just very porous. To this side of the line, you got your Rocky Mountains, granite, very thick crust and stuff right there. So most of these emission sites are perforations in the crust are volcanic in nature. So there's your country divided. This gas comes out of the ground so hot that it causes spontaneous combustion. Does everybody understand what spontaneous combustion is? It's at a temperature so extreme that it's so hot that you don't need a spark. Okay. Now, this gas, SO2, not necessarily flammable itself, but when it comes out of the ground, it's so hot, it causes spontaneous combustions, and we were seeing fires up here, but not lately. That's good. Fires that are being started from down below, from underground, okay? No fires for right now. You can see some of our sites here. There's a spot. Whoops. Can I get the fires off of there, please? You can see this spot here at the Bay Area, very concentrated spot, a lot strong emissions coming out of that area. All right, the little spots here and there popping up around the West Coast, going down through Mexico. Also here, let's go up here. Our Juan de Fuca region, okay? This is where Rainier, Mount St. Helens, Baker, all those, Mount Hood, all down that chain right there. And we're starting to see SO2 coming out of those places. Okay. Meanwhile, this East Coast is bleeding out. Okay, no human can escape volcanic explosions. Nope. You can't. Well, there is a couple spots there. Meanwhile, Cuba. all this region, all your volcanic islands here, spewing SO2. Now magma wants to come up through these perforations, but they're too small. They're tiny, tiny little pathways through a lot of crust, really thick, so only the gas can permeate through. And here we are at the fulcrum point on the plate boundary. Here's our spot inland, fulcrum point on the land. It has kind of diminished. This one's still standing there healthy and strong. These ones seem to be kind of weakening. I'm almost wondering if we have opened this site up a little bit bigger, the pathway may be bigger, and our emission site's bigger, robbing pressure from these ones. I don't know. We're going to continue to watch this. This one seems to be intense like last night. These other ones still kind of there. No, very strong down through there, though. And then we got a very healthy plume that's being blown into the Pacific and as well into the Atlantic side there. Okay, all these are different little emission sites. 7 years ago, when all this started, I think it was BP Earthwatch noticed the 4 of them along the Sierras here, and everybody paid attention. Well, they all seem to have forgot. We got other issues going on, and we still got more than 4 dots now, so all the way around the world here. All right, we're going to stop off at Hawaii. Still a similar situation, mainly out of Oahu, our SO2 emissions. We do have SO2 and volcanic emissions coming out of Hawaii. Hawaii has kind of come back to life with this latest round of pressure that's come in, and expect to see that continue to happen until all this pressure that's come, this activity that's come off the sun makes its way to the core, down to the bottom of the earth, and then makes its way back up in the form of pressure. Okay. Where am I going? Oh, we're going over here. And we're going to back up 8 hours really quick. All right, so there's the bruise on the face of the planet, China right there. And they got a lot of SO2 emission sites. They got perforations. They got very spongy crust. They probably got fissures opening up too. Okay, some of these emission sites look linear in fashion, so they're probably starting to entertain some fissures opening up, emitting gas as well. And everybody over there is getting very sick. They're getting pneumonia and particulates built up in their lungs. I wonder why. India following suit, okay, blows up against those mountains right there, and I told you it concentrates in that area, and you saw through all the particulate counts how that happens as well. We go through here, Taiwan, still strong emissions. We are seeing quake activity return to the fulcrum point back there, so that's good. Very strong emissions right here in the Philippines, just south of it. Also here in Java, we got very good emissions, strong emissions out of here tonight. Good coloration. All right, and some of it blowing out into the straits out here. So if you pushed all that back on, it'd be a little darker. A lot of activity in this region. Volcanoes. I think Krakatoa went off again. Okay, we're coming into this. Always touch base with this one, just for people that are new that come in every once in a while. We got these 2 perforations in this pencil-shaped island. It's like a slow leak in a bicycle tube. Here would be like the valve stem. If you were pumping air into it, you would want to see it, relieve at the plate boundary in the form of quakes. But pressure being relieved here keeps quakes and their magnitudes down. We still see some out of Vanuatu, volcanic in nature, but also pressure in the region has taken a seamount now and pushed it all the way up to the surface of the water. We have a new island here at Home Reef. Okay, so we have SO2 emissions coming out of that region too. Okay, so our deep quake area popping up with new little seamounts making their way to the ocean or to the surface. Okay, do we cover everybody? Saudi Arabia, Middle East still bleeding out. Okay, they got serious issues over there. They need to figure it out really quick. Also, some of their they're having methane emissions. Methane pushes up through the sand. Now you got to remember, sand is very porous and just loose, standing on top of it. So when you walk on sand at the beach, it moves around, right? So imagine gas that wants to escape, trying to come up through loosely, sand. So now it's this region. They're also having methane emissions that are catch on fire. Comes out of the ground. It's already. Oh, dude. I see the wolf. Can you guys see the wolf? I'm not going to point it out. I'm just going to let it sit there. Anyways, some of these emission sites are catching on fire because it's methane coming out of the ground as well. So SO2 and methane emissions. Oh boy, that is wild. And there's a second wolf too. All right, you want me to point it out? Here's one eye. Here's the other eye. The nose coming down, the black nose. Here's the smile. Here's his ears coming up. Here's his eyes, the nose, the mouth. His ears coming up. And then right, where'd it go? In white, here's the nose. This is the ear, another ear of a wolf face right here. Because he likes to use the topography incorporated in with the other stuff. So you got one big wolf right here with the two eyes, and then you got this faint one in white over here. He is the wolf. You're not too happy with these guys over here either, so. And you're looking over at India too. Look where the wolf is looking. You're looking over at this region. What the heck is that? Okay, you guys can come over here and play with this instrument as well. You gotta remember, spiritual realm's real. You might think this pareidolia or just your imagination, but when it really starts happening to you, you will see that it's more than just coincidence, okay? There are no coincidences. Everything's part of the grand design. All right, so there we go. Little missions down here in Africa, but I think we covered all that pretty well. Yeah. All right, let's move on. We did particulates, we did chemicals. Let's do the ocean, shall we? Now, our sea surface temperature anomalies. This is from yesterday. Takes a day to compile all this data and make the map. So it's always a day behind. All right, you're looking at your volcanic activity on the ocean floor, seamounts opening up, causing, heat in the water to rise, make plumes at the surface, and you're seeing these are all hot water plumes, most of them generated by volcanic vents on the ocean floor. Okay, Tamumasi in this whole region out here kind of dying down a little bit. You've seen a new opening here, transfer pressure, so more down around this region. Okay, well, pareidolia should happen on any kind of texture, right? If it's true pareidolia, you should be able to look at the carpet and see faces in the carpet, or look at the popcorn ceiling and see faces in that. But that's not what's happening. This is happening in the clouds, where the Bible told you, look in the clouds. Yeah. Anyways, back to business here. We are going into the Juan de Fuca region because this has been our hot topic for a minute lately. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and ding, there's our little circle. Parallel line just north of this white one, right where I marked the circle, is the plate boundary. It runs out like that, zigzags up through this blue region here. Are we not getting our color, or what is going on? All right, a little bit better. I want the coloration in there so you can see this hot pockets growing on the inside of the Juan de Fuca plate. This region right here, that's inside the plate. Then we have this region that runs along the shore that's heating up. All right, we got cold waters trying to get in there, but we have these two latest regions that are heating up here and along the shoreline, and cold water, hot water fighting right there. There's your Wanda Fuca coming out. We have pressure on the southern part below the Wanda Fuca, so we've seen quake activity down in this region. This is encroaching again on the Pacific coast here, more by Santa Barbara now. It used to be more encroaching in this region in LA, but look at this up here. So you might see some earthquake activity along your San Andreas in this region now. Not down in LA, but more up in the middle part. Well, Bay Area, southward. Okay, this is all kind of tapered off and retreating. We still have those two little pockets in there. Okay, so we're looking at that region there. Take that off now. Okay, so it gives you an idea what's going on out there. Meanwhile, over here, still got hot water coming off of Japan. Little pockets out here. Cold water inundating more and more as we get deeper into winter. Little individual sites like this, you can see something opened up on the seafloor, and we got a heat plume. Other little spots like this, that little yellow one right there, right here. These are all little spots that open up on the ocean floor, either emitting gas, hot water, magma, even heavier metals and stuff like that. Okay. Now, over here, Java has been more of a relief valve, a lot of SO2, a lot of earthquakes, and a lot of volcanic emissions from here, relieving pressure, and now it's allowing cold water inundation in this region. Okay, look at this off the coast here. A lot of hot water going on there. Okay, we also have this little effect going on down here off the coast. All right, what I need to do is put the winds on. These winds are at 850, okay? That's the level that our storms are at. Now, over the warmer water, hot air forms. Over the cooler water, cold air forms. Hot air rises, cold air rushes in to replace it, and you get this vortex activity, rotation around cold hot patches where they meet up. Okay, are you starting to see how the hot cold correlations are, or your patterns are correlating with your winds? Okay, that's what's controlling your weather patterns, is this volcanic activity in the water. All right, let's come over to this side really quick. You can see your rotations. Not so much conveyor belt structures right now, more just kind of vortex activity. But look up here. Pretty interesting. Got this three-way little rotation thing going on with this central heat. Interesting. Okay, we're having hot water clear up here at the Arctic Circle. So it's winter up there. So this is all emissions from underwater. Whoops, no, leave that on. Pull back. There we go. All right, just over here at the Indian Ocean, some of this effect over here, even happening on the southern hemisphere. And over here, now we have this region around New Zealand here that's heating up. We're seeing, hot water emissions and stuff. It's also summertime, so some of this is some of the heating from the sun, but it's being amplified also by your emissions down there, okay? So a lot of hot water around New Zealand. This patch that's opened up out here, you see cold, hot, rotation. Here's your La Nina that was getting well defined, was very organized and, had good structure, get disrupted now by these openings on the ocean floor. Now I'll take the wind off. These openings on the ocean floor here, okay? See these heat plumes. 1, 2, 3. And now they've disrupted those nice little waves, those blue curves that we see in the La Nina, and you can see the disruption right there. We also have this heat Gulf of Mexico that keeps warm, moist air accessible to be drawn up into the country. Put that wind back on there and see what our patterns are. Yeah. Okay. Warm, moist, humid air coming up. We got that cold Canadian air coming up over this ridge and colliding with it. That's your recipe for severe weather or just even moisture, convection. When I'm talking convection, it doesn't necessarily have to be a giant thunderhead. Any kind of cloud formation is convection. So this is all putting moist air with cold air, warm, moist, and cold together, combining them to make precipitation. It's like the perfect mix right there. All right, you can also see what's this little rotation out here? Something kind of rotating backwards here. So still stuff coming up, hitting this region right along the coast, going in a little bit and then come back, going in inland a little bit and then coming back out again. So we're still kind of caught up in that. This small little rotation right here is kind of keeping stuff down and rotating out. So everything north of this little part right here staying kind of protected here. That whole region right there. And for a reason. Okay, I think we've done enough blah blah there. Let's move on to our earthquake report. Let's go back to my room where we can hit the satellite and report all night. All right, here we go. Try to get colors in there too. All right, our deep quake region, no deep quakes for right now. We have our pencil-shaped island relieving pressure. We saw a heat plume come right out of that region yesterday. So a lot of pressure being relieved on the ocean floor, SO2, volcanoes. So very quiet in that region. We do have our surface quake at the boundary of 5.1. So that's our typical magnitude at the surface that we're seeing being relieved at the surface. Okay. 5.4 at the surface there. So a couple of fives. Here's another 5 down at 65. That's on a volcanic feature there. Very quiet through there. We've seen SO2 emissions, hot water plumes, all kinds of other relief through that area, keeping earthquake activity down. Nothing around the fulcrum point today. Nothing up around Japan. Let's go out here. 4.8 at the surface. Gotta see what this is. Especially if it's at the surface. Okay, well, I built it down here. Probably shook these guys in Yinchuan. Gave them a little wake-up call. I'm looking at, got this river, this flat little plateau area. There's some fault going through this structure as well, coming down. So, yeah, it's not necessarily a diverse quake. I see some other reasons for weakness in the structure there. It's a mountain, by the way, not what you think. Okay. So, odd quake, but not diverse. Over here, Saudi Arabia, Iran area, 4.3 down to 65. Uh-oh. Gotta see what's going on over here now. If it was at the surface, wouldn't have to. But yeah, we got some volcanic features and little mountains and stuff right here. Where is this little chain? Boom, 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 boom. Something creeping up that way. And that's where your quake's kind of in line with all of that. We'll pull back a little bit. You can see it better there. All right, interesting. New little path of least resistance right here. Well, it's not even at the surface yet. Something going on underneath this little mountain right there. All right. Let's come on over to Africa here where we've seen our little quake activity, volcanic feature over here. 5-1 at the surface today here. 4-9 at the surface. 4-6. Couple of 5s, couple of mid-range 4s. A few mid-range 4s. Okay. So coming in here, all these quakes, you can see our little volcano right there. And it's plugged up, it used to be a path of least resistance, and pressure used to get vented in this area, but magma came out of this. Now it's plugged up, and you're seeing just around the region here shaking. This area wants to come to life, but the old features are all blocked up, you know what I'm saying? So it can't. That's almost like a fulcrum point. Look how everything's shaped pointing into that region. All right. I think we're good on the rest of the world really quick. Oh, out here. Plate boundary 5-1. Plate boundary 5-2. Bigger quake 6-1. Down at 83 on these little volcanic islands here. See, it's not on the plate boundary. It's on the ridge of these. It's on the flank, the base of these little volcanic islands. There was that. And a 4.7, 6-1. Little uptick in pressure right there, or magnitude right there. So new little spot coming to life down here. We have Michael, the volcano, currently active in that region. Quick little magnitude check here. Mid-range 3. We want to go to, whoops, that one? No, there we go. All magnitudes here. All right, so we hop on in over here. We already kind of checked all this region. No quakes around this fulcrum point. All volcanic activity through that region right now. As we come in, we got our first quake is 3-4 at 17. It's closer to the surface, almost there. 3-1, 35, very small micro quaking through that region. Not even worth checking magnitude. Okay, coming in here. This is the plate right here where we see our heat. Okay, our little line coming out here, and then zigzags up. So the plate that's in the middle, there's your heat in the middle of right here, and we were seeing quake activity yesterday in this region. Okay, not today, but today we are seeing just small 2.8, 2.0. Okay, a lot of microquaking going on at the geysers. Current magnitudes are 1.3s. Biggest one today was a. Can we have that one, please? 4.7 with a tsunami alert. No tsunami inland there. Okay, very quiet around the Bay Area. Now, I showed you that heat plume addressing this area. And look, we're starting to have current quake activity 1.4, not very big in magnitude. But off the coast here, starting to see activity. 2.4, 1.5, 2.3. Solvang, I haven't been there in a long time. All right, current activity there. What's the little quake activity going on here? We have a little quake swarming going on in this valley down here. 2.5s, nothing too bad. 2.8s, but a few little quakes here relieving pressure in that region. That's good. That's a little quake swarm relieves a lot of pressure without doing too much damage. What's this? 2.7, okay. New one right there. thermal California, and we do the thermal reports. And there's a red one there, thermal. Okay, man-made perforations in the crust. We all understand how that works. 2.7, that's been the kind of going magnitude lately. 3.0 here in Texas, that's been kind of the going magnitude lately, so not too much of an uptick there. That's a 2. Nothing, oops, get this out of there. Nothing around the New Madrid, nothing going up the Craton today. You know what? This mouse pad is making my mouse all jittery. There we go. I think we covered it all. Oh, wait. Down here, that was the one at Michael. This one, 5.5 at the plate boundary. So mid-range 5 down here. Not too bad. A slight uptick in magnitude there. All right. So with this new wave of pressure, this new G4 storm that came in, it's going to translate to pressure down below. That pressure is going to come bubbling back up to the surface. Now, it takes a minute. It doesn't happen the very next day or right away. So the side effects can be pretty quick. Okay, but they usually take a minute until we see real results. But so that's why I'm going to say right now, let me just check that. That's a 3-1 up there in Montana. I'm going to put a little warning out for earthquakes now. Beware, we've got a new round of pressure coming up from down below here pretty soon. We're going to see an uptick in magnitudes, and we're going to see an uptick in quakes, okay? I'm not going to point at a certain spot and say, oh, here's where you're going to see your 7.0. But we'd like to take note of places that are weak spots that have just opened up or whatever, right? Here we are right here. This is current activity. We just reported on this quake right here, the 4.8. Look what just happened right next to it, 4.9. And what do we do with 4.9s at this place? You can bump that up to a 5 if you think it's necessary, because this, whatever's going on in this region right here is coming to life. What's right in between these? Well, all this is old volcano. What are they doing here? Oh, yeah. You can see how they carved all that out. Mind all this area. What's going on? Oh, here's our culprit right here. Hello. We have a volcano in the mud flow right here. Puddles of mud right here coming out of this volcanic feature. See the cone right here and the mud flowing out half of the side, running down the hill here. Hello, we got a little active mud volcano right there with earthquakes on either side at 4 and mid or 4.8 and 9 right there. Yeah, there's something going on around there. Watch out for that mud volcano to erupt. Start spitting out mud. Or even flames here in China. All right. So we're having a current activity. We're starting to see a little activity now as we're reporting. Now, any kind of, here, just really quick backing up, any kind of like fulcrum point, plate boundary is susceptible to a quake when we get a new round of pressure coming up. Okay, fulcrum points, plate boundaries, some of these new spots that have opened up where, well, for instance, here at the Juan de Fuca, this spot out in Yarrington, where we keep seeing them take turns back and forth. 3.1 magnitude today, a few little ones and stuff around there. Ooh, stuff traveling south here. All right, so we're seeing little new spots open up. Those would be places to watch. Also, flank of volcano, volcanic features. This area is coming to life too. Yeah. So any kind of path of least resistance, which would be plate boundary, fulcrum points, new opening sites. Also, we saw that red coming into this area. Okay, see this starting to encroach on the shoreline right here off the Bay Area, south of the Bay Area. So, south of the Bay Area, all this area is to the San Andreas. So watch out for activity on the San Andreas picking up. We're already seeing quakes on this side, on this plate, okay? 1.4, it's at the surface, really shallow. Okay, so watch out, earthquake warning for this region. You might not get a big one, but watch out, you might see some earthquake activity along the west coast. It's already kind of coming alive. All right, that's it on the earthquake report. Let's move on to the volcano report. Thank you for being so tolerant and patient, you guys. Hopefully you're enjoying learning. Learning should be an enjoyable process. So that way you want to learn. Okay, so up here we have 38 currently erupting and 35 that are active. Add those together, that's 73. Now, 7 years ago, when all this stuff started happening to me, right after the Revelation 12 star alignment, 7 years ago, there was only one volcano going off back then. If I'd told you 7 years from now, you're going to be in tribulation, you're going to be seeing 73 active volcanoes, you would have said, yeah, Brian, you're crazy. Well, here we are, 7 years later, 73, and I am still crazy about you. Let's do this. Semeru. Volcano. Oh, what's going on there? Looks like a lot of heat. Looks like pressure coming to the surface, doesn't it? Lava extension to the northeast builds a new lava delta. All right. Okay, Sakurajima, 9,000 feet. You can lay on my shoulder. Okay, Luatobi, 9,000 feet. Semeru, 14. Watch for an uptick in Semeru. 14 is its average, its usual. It's been going 15 and 16 when we get these little bursts of pressure. Ducono, 8,000. Home Reef, our new little thing here. The effusive eruption at the island continues. The lava continues to ooze out from the summit vent towards the northeast, enlarging the new lava delta. As the lava advances, it expands the island's size, as observed in the attached Sentinel-2 time-lapse. Okay, that's what we're looking at. Popocatépetl. No report on the height, but 14 out of Fuego, 14 out of Reventador. What? That's just in the last few minutes. Here's today, which is now yesterday, because, well, time flies at this channel. Here's your map of madness. Take a peek at that. Something wrong with that map. Shouldn't be all those red triangles on it. Very disturbing. But don't let it desensitize you, because all of those red ones are in eruption. Okay. Leon, you can pronounce it how you want. I like to say Leon, so you can lay your head on my shoulder. All right. This is Hawaii, I believe. Honolulu crater, Hawaiian. Okay, so here's your lava lake. And right at the edge, it's breaking and cracking, and you're getting your lava coming out. I think it's currently erupting right now. Hawaii is. I was just watching a live stream of it not too long ago. 8,000 out of Sakurajima, Suwanosejima, excuse me for coughing, Canalone, Drew, Ibu, I be with you at 8,000? No, 13,000 feet. That's a huge increase out of being with you at 13,000 feet. Okay, Luatobi, 8,000. Samaru, 14. Kilauea, Hawaii. Fusive eruption from the southwestern part of the summit caldera continues, 20 to 30 meters high. Popocatépetl, sporadic ash emissions, 14 out of San Guido. Fuego, 14. Okay, yeah, they're both 14. Santa Guido and Fuego, both 14. Reventador, 14. Almost kind of like everybody's averaged out at 14 here, huh? A lot of 14s in there tonight. Okay. This is your list of said map, okay? Note that says currently erupting. That's so disturbing. Guys, just wrap your mind around all of these currently erupting. If the mainstream media reported this to the world, they would probably yawn and go right back to sleep. Really, it wouldn't be all that disturbing. You could probably let everybody know now, and they'd just go, yeah, so what? But this is a cause for alarm, okay? Any little burp and pressure down below, these semi-active ones go fully active. And lately we've been seeing a whole new spot open up. Not necessarily one of these that's already opened going full blast. It's a new spot, a path of least resistance opening up. That's a lot of volcanoes. Okay, pumping a lot of ash every day. It's not like it was just one blast. It's every day, 14, 20,000, 22,000, right? You guys are here paying attention, right? Okay, we are going through your tidbits. Tropical tidbits, that is. Everybody out their hand, grab your tidbit. All you guys, rapers and models. Oh, sorry, they're forecast models. All right, here we go. Current conditions, first day of 2025, January 1st. Happy New Year. Congratulations on surviving the old year, because you did. You actually survived it. Okay, cold front, snow wrapping up, moving on out of the country. New little burst coming in there. That's the morning of the 2nd, noon. Convection, little severity there. Nighttime, little icing in there, possibly. Morning of the 3rd, okay? Icing in Oregon, snow, Washington, Idaho. We're looking at severe weather addressing the coast again. Talking about flash flooding, coastal erosion, possible waterspouts making landfall. Okay, large hail, everything that goes with weather, severe weather. Then we go to the noontime of the 3rd. This is going to intensify, go right down the coastline right there. There's the afternoon of the 3rd, driving into the Sierras with severe weather, heavy snow. So if you're going to try to go over those passes, good luck. Nighttime of the 3rd, morning of the 4th, noon, convection. Here's this ice storm still coming together here on the 4th. Morning of the 4th, or no, convection of the 4th, nighttime, morning of the 5th, noon, convection. Oh dear. Nighttime, morning of the 6th, and by noon it's kind of out of there with trailing snow. All right, anything after that is going to be kind of iffy, subject to change. But you see how this warm, moist air comes up right here? Look at this, icing in Louisiana. Okay, this is snow on the backside. This cold air pushed all the way down there. There's icing and snow. Severe weather right off, all right there. That's possible around January 9th, but that's too far out in advance. So that'll probably change. But that's a scenario that could happen. Okay, we're seeing different kind of weather patterns, so it's good to get an idea how some of these simulations could gel and come together. More icing up in there too. And you can see we're out here at the 12th. I don't really care about most of that. It's not, it looks like a lot of it's missing us, so that's good. Let's pray it stays that way. My main concern is this icing event coming up. All right, first off, here in Oregon, they're not used to icing. Watch out there. That could catch people off guard with severe weather on the coastlines again, right in that region. A lot of moisture getting pushed inland, heavy snow up in there along the Sierras. Okay, then with this low, okay, this is the storm that just produced all of this in the region. Okay, once it comes through Utah, the nighttime of the 3rd, if we see it do this, all right, here on the 4th, if we see it do that jump from here to, it's still predicting right here. This jump right here in this time frame from morning of the 4th to the noon time of the 4th, if that low drives in like that, then we're really going to see this event take place. Okay, but that is just really close. It's not too far away. So noon of the 4th, you're going to start to see it gel, come together by the convection nighttime, morning of the, or nighttime of the 4th right there. Then in the morning hours, it's really intensifying right there. That's a lot of, that's some deep amounts. That's going to be the noon time of the 5th. Everybody in that region, you better start preparing for this, because this is really, looking like it's going to come together. It's models are all agreeing, and we're getting an intense ice storm in that whole region. It could shift a little further north. It might be a little further south, but as we kind of back through this and you watch this whole thing come together, you see the region roughly and the time frame. Lots of power outages. It's going to take power lines, trees down, heavy amounts of precipitation, snow with ice, and then water coming over it, melting it. You might see all kinds of different effects out of that right there. And its strongest time frame is starting from like right there, noontime to 5th, intensifying at the afternoon, intensifying at night, still strong in the morning of the 6th. All right, that's our main event right there. To everybody start preparing for that. If you're in that region, you know people in that region, make sure they're warm. You guys might want to even just hunker down and plan on staying indoors for a couple of days until all this passes, because all the mayhem that's going to go with it, traffic, snarls, power outages, and everything, that's going to be a mess right there. And you're getting some warning right now. And like I said, this is where we're going to know, and that's not too far away. The morning of the 4th, when we see that low in Utah, if we see that low jump, like I said, to New Mexico right there, if it drives south a little bit like that, it's on. You can tell that it just has no choice but to just do this. All right, that's it for your weather, your geophysics, your astrophysics, how all that works. Now let's get into the spiritual report, or what some people like to call metaphysics. It's more of how you work and how you were designed to work. Alrighty, let's get a few pictures pulled up real quick. Most of you are getting the hang of this. And if you're not, just hang in there. Keep trying. Don't leave until the miracle happens. All right, I keep pulling up this image and these series all the time because this is a very important event. All right, 2,000-year-old prophecy came true on Easter. That's my face coming in the clouds of power and great glory. Last night we did some reading, and I even showed you this face by the moon. Oh, wrong one. Let's try it again. That one. All right, it was captured by somebody else. All right, not my capture. So it's not me doing CGI or AI, computer generated anything, or what's a Photoshop or anything like that. Okay, somebody else captured my face. And last night I turned the camera around a little bit so you could see. This is my face. Not a joke. I don't show my face all the time, but you could see every once in a while I do show you so that you recognize that is my face. That's my face as well. Okay, I just don't show it on the camera all the time because it can kill people. Okay, I gotta be careful. I'm pretty ugly. I can scare people to death, right? All right, now let's pull up another one from my channel really quick. All this activity been happening to me since right before the Revelation 12 star alignment, and then ever since. We're coming over to my channel. Another video. So yeah, KP8. Pretty strong storm. G4 kind of surprised people. Absorb a lot of energy. Take a lot of earthquake activity. Alright, so we all understand this video? Because I think most of you have seen this stuff before. Okay? So, we got that one. And this one. Our three main ones. That's good enough for now. Let me get this going here. Yeah, this is the one I want. Okay, yeah. So, quite a first day, huh? For 2025, you see all the different activities that are going on. It was a slow weekend during the weekend for news, and then all of a sudden, New Year's Day, you can't keep up with all the different stories. And all that stuff can kind of get you wound up, give you anxiety and stuff. So it's good that you take a moment, a break from all that stuff. Understand that it's all happening for a reason. Okay, it's not just pointless. There's a reason, and you understand that it's part of the script. And that script is kind of, well, it's interesting, it's intriguing, and it's got to be a little bit mysterious, right? To kind of keep you interested, right? So mystery is kind of part of it too, all right? To keep you attached, intrigued, and, you have to have mystery. So my ways are mysterious and unpredictable, but they are good. So when you look at world events with so much rampant evil, it's easy to feel fearful and discouraged. You cannot comprehend why I allow such cruelty and suffering. But the difficulty lies in the fact that I am infinite and you're not. Many things are simply beyond your comprehension, but do not despair. You are actually kind of seeing adversity and how overcoming it builds strength, right? You understand that concept, that adversity can be good because it makes you grow and you grow stronger. So, with so much rampant evil, it's easy to feel discouraged, and people can't comprehend why I allow cruelty and suffering. Well, cruelty and suffering is adversity for that individual to overcome, right? Oh, so maybe it's not cruelty, maybe it's not suffering, maybe it's their growth process. Okay, so you can't comprehend why I allow such cruelty and suffering, but you're starting to grasp it. You're starting to realize, hey, that's why there's evil in the world, so the good can grow strong by overcoming it, okay? And the difficulty lies in the fact that my infinite perspective, you guys can't really, or you're just starting to grasp it and see from that perspective. And when you reach the limits of your understanding, trusting me will carry you onward. You're starting to grasp these things, and there are limits to your understanding. So, to carry onward in this understanding, you need to trust me. So, when you reach the limits of your understanding, trusting me will carry you onward. Affirm your trust in me through silent and spoken prayers and stay in communication with me. Don't get trapped in a posture of demanding to know why. A lot of people demand to know why. Why this? Why that? Why this? Why that? One of the most potent answers for almost a lot of these questions and theories is it doesn't matter. All you're postulating and all you're questioning, why is this, how's this work? It doesn't matter. This is what matters. Okay? That's all that matters. Right there. Your victory. That's the main part of this game. Everything else is rubbish. So you got to remember a lot of the answer to like 90% of these questions is it doesn't matter. It's not going to affect your victory. So why are you worried about string theory being real, or what CERN's doing, or if this is HARP or whatever? No, quit worrying. All those postulations are a waste of your time. It doesn't change this. It just doesn't. So when you start to see from that perspective that 90% of these questions of why, what, when, how does it work, it doesn't matter. So don't get trapped in that posture of demanding to know, whether it's why, how, when. That is the wrong question to be asking. The right questions to be asking are, how do you want me to view this situation? Show me the perspective on the situation that I'm not seeing. Show me the bigger picture on my situation. Okay, that's the right question. Is the earth flat? No, who cares if it's flat around? Are you viewing your situation the way you should be? That's what matters. Okay? How do you want me to view the situation? And what do you want me to do right now? Okay, those are good questions. How do you want me to view the situation? What do you want me to do right now? Because we're talking about your day-to-day life here. Okay, you're stuck in a situation. What do you want me to do right now, Lord? Well, take a minute, pray, regain your composure, and then move forward. Okay. Also, remember, you can't change the past. So start with the present moment and seek to find my way forward. Okay. So even during the course of your day, sometimes you forget. And you got to start from that moment forward. Okay. I rush into some things. I wake up 15 minutes late, and I got to, start pressing, to make up for time, and I forget to pray. And I get stuck in this little rut or whatever. And I have to catch myself and then change that and move forward from that present moment. Okay. Sometimes we go, that part ruined my day, and you dwell on that first part of the day while going through your afternoon, and it ruins your afternoon. Your afternoon doesn't need to be ruined by what happened in the first part of the day, because as soon as that present moment hits you, seek from that moment forward. Okay? At any moment forward. So trust me, one day, one moment at a time. Do not fear, for I am with you, and I will strengthen you and help you. That's what I'm doing. I'm strengthening you and I'm helping you. I'm giving you the tools to grow stronger in your adversity. And you guys are. Other people are freaking out right now, and you guys are nice and calm, peaceful. You're here in my presence. You're understanding the fullness of my grace, and it's from the fullness of my grace that you have received one blessing after another. all of these images, all of this knowledge, all of this stuff, all this grasping of concepts is the blessings one after another, isn't it? From the fullness of my grace, you have received one blessing after another. So stop for a moment, beloved, and ponder the astonishing gift of salvation by grace through faith in me. Ponder the astonishing gift of salvation. Your soul's saved for eternity. You're doing salvage work. You're putting notches in your belt. You got an experience now. When spiritual attacks happen, you recognize them. You're able to discern them. You're able to neutralize them. If they get affect you, you can walk away, regain composure. God, you guys are just mowing them down. And you're doing that. You're pondering the astonishing gift of salvation, which is a gift by me through grace, through faith in me. And because it's entirely a gift, it's not a result of your works, this salvation is secure. Okay, it's not a result of your works. Your performance doesn't matter. It's your willingness. Okay, so when it's not a result of your works. Okay, and this salvation, this salvage work is secure. Okay, your part is just to receive what I have accomplished for you on the cross and believing with faith that it was given to you. This undeserved love and favor is yours forever. My grace has infinite value. Okay, infinite, even at this very moment. Even tomorrow, every moment into the future, and even after this world's long gone, my grace still has infinite value. So even when you pass and go on after you're dead, my grace will still be there. Okay, that's another wonderful thing you guys to cheer about. Multiple blessings. There are multiple blessings that flow out of grace because of its extraordinary fullness. Guilt feelings melt away in the warm light of forgiveness. Your identity as a child of God now gives your life meaning and purpose. You thought you had meaning and purpose in your life before, but now you really do, huh? Now you're living rich and full. I'm just leaving it on that one. Right, here we go. Really quick. I'm getting that hard in there. All right, good. Okay, this undeserved love and favor is yours forever. Rejoice that you got this love forever. It's infinite value. These multiple blessings flow out of grace because of its extraordinary fullness. These guilt feelings melt away in the warm light of my forgiveness. Your identity as a child of God gives your life meaning and purpose. You are living rich and full now, aren't you? You're doing salvage work that you see how it works. It's you're already getting experience. So you're getting the multiple blessings already. You recognize your identity. Okay. Relationships with other people improve as you relate to them with love and forgiveness. The same love and forgiveness I show you, you show other people, and your relationship with them improves. It has no choice but to. By default, it will improve. The best response to this bountiful grace is a heart overflowing with gratitude. See this heart right here overflowing, making faces in the clouds? That's your heart overflowing with gratitude. The moment you're thankful for your situation, it loses the sting and its power over you. You overcome it. Best response to my bountiful grace is a heart overflowing with gratitude. So take time each day to think about and thank me for the blessings in your life. This protects your heart from weeds of ingratitude that spring up so easily. So just be thankful. It's pretty simple. Being thankful. Today, for instance, we see lightning striking the Capitol. We see lightning striking the monument. We see lightning striking the Empire State Building. Those are all signs, all right? And then even World Trade Center got struck too, I think. Pretty sure. 4 of them today. Those are signs. Those things are those hidden treasures along the way that you see, that you recognize. Not everybody recognizes them. Believers do. They see that stuff and they go, whoa, 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 that's God's handiwork right there. So you're seeing your gifts. You're seeing these little treasures along your path that encourage you and strengthen you and give you hope. So when you're going through your daily adversity in your own private life and you forgot to pray, all of a sudden oops, you know what? I forgot to say a prayer before I even hit the road today. Lord, you know what? Could you please part the waters, the people, could you kind of part the waters so I can move through here? Could you please give me strength and patience and tolerance as people on there driving with their cell phones on? All of a sudden, I'm calmer, more composed, and then you can move forward. It's pretty easy stuff. It's just hard to do. Okay? Easy concepts, but just hard to do. And you guys are doing them. You're actually finding the peace that overcomes your circumstances. You are glorying in your tribulation. You see it from the perspective that it makes you stronger now. So now you see your adversity as the challenge. So you take it on instead of just curling up and whimpering in the corner. Oh, poor me, poor me. Do you see what's happening to me? Everybody feels sorry for me. No. I want you to stand up, pull up your bootstraps, face your fears, and we're going to go walk right through them. And then when we walk through them, you turn around and go, wait, I was afraid of that, and we just went right through it, and now I beat it. You have no reason to fear it anymore because you have experience overcoming it. The more you overcome, the more experience you have at doing that, the more confident you'll feel, the stronger you will be living, you'll be thriving. Even in these times, you will see the signs and rejoice in them where other people are freaking out. Okay. This next year is going to just keep getting more and more intense. You all witnessed 24 and what happened through the course of 2024. You see the geophysics, you see the astrophysics, you see the Bible, you see the clouds, you see what's going on, you see the times that we're in, you see me in the clouds coming with power and great glory. It's fascinating, it's intriguing, it's mysterious, it keeps you intrigued, so you stay caught up with me in the clouds. All right? It keeps it from being boring. Okay? This is the real deal. This is my face in the clouds on Easter. 2,000-year-old prophecy came true on Easter. It's crazy. So, you're looking at my face in the clouds coming with power and great glory. You are caught up with me in the clouds in the air of cyberspace. Okay? I can't come over and give you a big hug. My body's all shattered right now. But I can meet my family in the air, in the chat rooms, at other places too. There's other channels that all you guys frequent, and this one, you notice how we're all a little family branched out into these other families? Those chat rooms are those families too. Okay, so I meet my family in the air, much like you guys meet your family in the air. How that concept is not too hard to grasp anymore when you're doing it yourself, aren't you? So you see how that works. See, I can't come over, but I can meet you in the air of cyberspace, where here at YouTube, I've managed to get enough subscribers, thanks to you guys, that I can stream live. That where I am, you may be also. Even at this moment, even in replay, Okay, if you do not get to see me live, doesn't matter. At this very moment that you're with me listening to me is that same moment. Okay, whether it's live or not, this is still timeless. All right, you guys are all aboard. You guys, you should be thankful that this is real, that this isn't computer generated. This is reason to rejoice, and it's also reason to brace. Brace for impact. You got some work to do as we wrap this up. Okay, you guys, your faith is being completed. When you see these results unfold in your life, and you are living a freer, more peaceful um, life, you're still going to have adversity. It doesn't make things all rainbows and unicorns. It makes it even harder. So you're tested even harder. Okay. And you're going to need those tools. Just keep practicing with your tools. Okay. It's so important that you practice with the tools that, if you're still having trouble believing me with this stuff, that's okay. Take the tools and use those first. Okay, this stuff can come secondary. Go take the tools that I give you to salvage your day and go salvage your day, maybe twice, maybe 3 times. And as you do that, you get a glory. You go from glory to glory to glory through the course of your day, salvaging your day. Root word of salvation is salvage. See, I'm in the salvage business. I salvage relationships. I salvage broken hearts, shattered bodies. I salvage everything. Everything is salvageable. Okay? And you guys are in the salvage business too. You see somebody else that's feeling down, go lift their spirits up. Bring that light into other people's lives. Do it as much as you can with the time that you got. Okay? You don't have to work overtime and just do that exclusively, but incorporate it into your life. The people around you will be happier and you will be happier. And when events like today happen, you'll be able to discern the truth. You won't freak out. Other people will run with the first theory. Oh, it's this, it's that, it's this guy because they said so. You know what? None of that stuff matters. None of that stuff changes this, does it? So keep reminding yourself of that. When you see some of these activities going on, remember, it doesn't change your victory. Okay, each day you are one day closer. You wake up, you start the day. All right, Lord, give me strength to make it through this day. And then at the end of the day, you've done some salvage work, but when you lay down, reflect a little bit. You know what? Thank you for making me running late. I ran into somebody that I wouldn't have seen if I was on time. I'm sorry things didn't work out here, but I overcame it and I was able to salvage my day. It was something in the world to overcome. The more you do this, the better verse you get at, the more confidence you'll feel. Then you'll actually start to feel this feeling inside. My spirit working through you, you're going to feel this lion inside of you growing. You're doing spiritual warfare, the real deal on a daily basis, and you got to bring it to other people too as well. The best that you can. Okay? You're not judged on performance, so you can get rid of the performance anxiety. Okay, you already see me, you already know me, I know you, you're just getting to know me. This is a relationship, not a religion. This is not a cult. This is a family. Okay? Family know each other and trust each other. Okay, a cult has initiation and monthly fees, and you're not leaving the cult unless we all let you. No. This is totally, totally different. And once you grasp these concepts and put them into place in your life, you're going to start to see who I am. Okay, you're going to start to see who I am, and you're going to start to see that you are truly a child of God. That's when the miracle sets in. Okay, so keep working it until it happens. Don't give up don't give up till the miracle happens. Just keep working at it because it's worth it. All right. And it doesn't, once it happens and you believe and you trust, it doesn't mean that your adversity's over. It's not like, oh, I found the magic key and now I can just, no, you got to work at it each day. Okay. Because we're building character, we're building strength that's going to shine when it's needed. Okay. This is the real deal. You guys are the real royal family. It's not the queen and these guys over in England. That is not royalty. That is far from royalty. Okay? You guys are. It takes belief and trust to be part of a family, right? You got to believe each other, got to trust each other. So that's what we're doing. We're building trust, we're building belief so we can lean on each other and trust each other and be a family. Okay? This is your foundation. This is your rock on which you can lean on and build on. Fixes broken hearts, broken relationships. It does everything. Brings hope, brings peace in your circumstances. It's the tool. It's the tool. Use it. Go practice and use it in your everyday life and see how much more rich and full you live. And then when headlines come, knocking at the door or scaring everybody, you're going to be like, hey, no surprises here. We all kind of understood that was coming. Okay? It's just not the way Hollywood spelled out for you. Okay? It's not the way Hollywood imagined or how other people theorize or projected prophecy, whatever. And that doesn't matter. This is what matters. Okay, the answer to 90% of your questions is it doesn't matter. Why is the sky blue? Because it doesn't matter. It doesn't change your destiny. Okay, is the Earth flat? So what? No, it's not. By the way, it's a spheroid. Everything in space is either a sphere or a kind of asteroid type chunkage. But that stuff doesn't matter. What's the speed of light? What if you go through a black hole at the speed of light? Well, first of all, you can't, but that doesn't matter. All that is just wasted thought, wasted time, wasted energy, wasted conjecture, and it's all theory. And you got a bunch of doctorates running around professing that they know all this stuff, but they don't. They don't have any experience. It's experience that makes an expert. You can't just go to Harvard and listen to some dork at a podium tell you what he thinks. And then you latch on to his idea. No, that's not how science works. You got to go out there and perform some experiments, see some results, take some notes, repeat stuff to get the same result. Once you do, then you have found how things work. Oh, boy, are we... Thank God for you guys. All right? Because do you understand how important this small group is? We're up against the world. It's just you guys and me. You know that? Everybody else is lost in the sauce. We're a small elite group. Okay? And it was all because you took a leap of faith and trust and believed. Okay? I wish some people had along the way before I had to go through so much excruciating agony and stuff, but I learned and grew from that. Okay, and so did the people along the way. Eventually, the psychiatrist went, okay, I'll look at your dumb picture. And then all of a sudden, ooh, dumb picture turned into a swallow really hard for a doctor who just had his eyes opened and realized the path that he was going down and looked at me and went, oh. Okay, so I've changed people's lives along the way. Just like I've changed your life. Okay? That's how this works. I am doing a new thing. I'm changing you inside, giving you courage, hope, and real strength. Okay? Yeah, I gotta go. It's getting late. I got stuff to do. So I love you guys. I miss you guys. Why does he keep saying he misses us? Well, because I know you, and I miss you. I haven't seen you in a long time. Okay? I love you. I miss you. until my next show, famous words, I'll be back. I'm a man of my word. I told you I would be back. Well, 2,000 years later, I'm back. And if you trust me and you believe me and you work this, you will indeed be part of this royal family. How bad do you want it? That's it for tonight. I love you all. I miss you all. And until my next show, bye. I'll be back.